Hi, I'm Curtley Stevens. I'm 20 years old, and well, nationality-wise, I'm from Jamaica, but I've been in the UK for moving on to 15 years now. It feels like my home. I currently live in Shepherd's Bush. That's really close to the Westfield Shopping Centre. It's just recently been built, and it's changed the area quite a lot. I mean, before it used to be a very quiet neighbourhood, but now it's become, well, multi-ethnic, you could say, and that's been something that I think is quite refreshing. See, like, quite a vast different kind of people from various backgrounds, nationality, and etc. And it's quite made the neighbourhood change a lot, but for the better, I feel. And from that aspect, I think that's one of the reasons that, I mean, I've always been like really into working with people for a start, because, well, I volunteered for a year at a youth club nearby Shepherd's Bush. It's in Earls Court, and during that time I grew to like love working with people and helping out, like giving time in almost any way I could to help someone better their own life and their current circumstance. And I mean, from there I went on to get a placement on an apprenticeship at that very youth club where I worked. They thought I'd done a fantastic job. They were really pleased with the effort I made and just my all-round personnel. And I mean, the apprenticeship was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It went well. It was more or less just transitioning from volunteering from a year into maybe the more professional aspect of the deeper roles of the job, which I grew to find quite interesting but enjoyed. And from there, like I said, it went on for a year. It finished in January, and unfortunately I really wanted to continue. I was passionate about it, but there just weren't any real angles to kind of get into. I mean, there wasn't a next level on for me to go into. I looked for various jobs with my newfound experience, and it just wasn't, it didn't seem like there was anything really available to me at the time, which is really disappointing. But I mean, I kept looking, and one of the reasons why I'm now applied for this position is that, along with youth work, I've always had an eye or an interest in construction as well. I just really like that get up and go kind of feel to a work. I've always known I'm not really someone that likes to really maybe want to sit around and do anything. I always like to feel like quite on the move, quite active, like really energetic, if anything, while working. And so yeah, like along with youth work, the various roles in construction have always interested me. And I mean, I've always been looking at the two, been trying to get like into youth work while keeping an eye on construction positions. And it just so happens that recently this position became like aware to me, and I got on board as soon as I could. It was I think in a matter of days after seeing it that I literally got the form in, filled and everything, learned all I could in that time to give myself as good as a chance to get involved, because like I said, this is just one of the two things that I feel are just really suited to me and that I could really have a great future in life. And I'm more than willing to put the time and effort in, so I just want to make it happen for myself. So I'm here now, I've come down, I honestly can say I've given it my absolute all. I'm slightly shattered on the physical side, but 100% not bothered about it, because like I said, I've just literally given my all, given myself the very best chance to get through as one of the final four. I've been telling people I'm quietly confident, because I mean, I can see and I feel like I've given myself a really good chance to do it. I feel like it's something that should come my way. I feel like I've earned that opportunity, but at the same time it's no guarantee, so I just have to wait patiently and see. But I'm waiting and patiently waiting, quietly confident. I really feel like I've made the best of it so far, and regardless of if it works out or not, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep on looking. It's just going to be an unfortunate setback, but it's not going to crush my, like, stop me trying. Going to be a block in my way in any way. I'm just going to keep on trying, keep looking, and eventually I know if I stay as determined as I am, keep learning, keep trying, something will work out.
What do you think is the most important characteristics and personal character to have in order to succeed, in order to get what you want?
100%. That is something that I would say that definitely over the time during the apprenticeship I became aware of, and in trying to get back into work, self-motivation. I think that is key. There are loads of things that you have to have, but in being self-motivated, it ties into all of them, I feel. in each of their aspects they have their own aspects of them. But self-motivation, you've just got to be mentally ready and be willing to do whatever it takes to get there. You've got to have that self-drive, because it's like I was said to like some people and said previously, if so I can be given the very best opportunity in the world, I would say I've really pretty much laid out my future, but if my mind's not really in it, or I don't really want the opportunity, or I'm just not up for it, it's not going to pan out in the end. It's just, I'm not going to stay in that position, I'm not going to perform to the best of my ability, I'm just not going to get the best out of it. I think no matter what you have, it is key that you're always self-motivated in that position, whatever position that you are.
Awesome. One more thing, actually, just talking about the nature of the fact this is an apprenticeship, why do you think this is the best way to get work, to take this channel? Well, we'll have to stop for a sec because I just want to talk a bit about the the nature of the job industry now. Obviously, we're in a bit of a recession.
Yeah, I'm going to go into that. Yeah.
That's fine. Let's roll with that.
Okay. So, well, first and foremost, I've been saying for a while now, for at least a year, to as many people as I can, I truly honestly believe apprenticeships are the way forward. In the aspect that I have a lot of friends who have gone to uni, who are currently at uni, and some have come out and said, well, you know what I mean, I've gone to uni for so many years to get this high qualification to give me the best possible chance to get further ahead, but I keep getting told I have no experience. And then for some other people, they've maybe had the experience but not so their qualifications. And I think apprenticeships are the best of both in that aspect, because I mean you get qualified at the end and you receive the sufficient training. I mean for the two, for someone who maybe works hard but isn't qualified, they can go and they're looking for someone who maybe has more of a qualification. Whereas the other, you maybe spend so many years in university to come out, but you haven't quite had the experience. And in just a year, you can receive sufficient training and qualification to push on and get as far as possible, as long as you're motivated to do it. And I mean, that's the problem in society right now, where you have some people who they say, well, you know what I mean, I want to go to uni but I need a job at the same time. They've got financial problems, and you've got others who are working but they want to get qualified in that field as well, and there's just no time to do it. And that's why I think an apprenticeship is just so convenient. I really honestly truly wish that it was being explained more, and like more, it was being put out more, just what apprenticeships are, because I truly honestly think there will be far more people getting on board with it. The number of applicants would be rising like each year doing apprenticeships, because I truly think it's the way forward. And I just don't think enough people know. Sadly enough, when I left school, I went into education for further education at college for 3 years, and I can honestly say, like, when I realised what apprenticeships were and found out much more about them, I thought to myself, hold the phone, I could have been qualified here and been receiving payment. And in most apprenticeships case, you do get the opportunity of like further employment. So when employed by a company, they can sometimes hire you, give you a position, or put in the direction of a company, so you necessarily have to finish it and then go off by yourself. So I just have to say, I can't express enough how great I think apprentices are. I mean, it's just an honest shame that many more people don't know about them, aren't getting involved, aren't being given information. And I know that it's definitely something that happened, because it happened in my case. I found out about them quite only recently, I think in the last year, more or less. And I find that shocking, that there's such great opportunities to get qualified, get paid, both work and get educated at the same time, and you're not knowing about this. You may go into later years and think that was a great opportunity, I wish I had known.
Yeah, that's great, really interesting. So just to finish off, just in a couple of sentences, can you just sum up your experience today and just how you feel about it?
Well, I will say that this has been a new experience for me, definitely, in how this interview, if I would call it that, has gone, or the boot camp day. It's taught me new aspects or different ways of maybe like looking at how to handle like an interview. Like there are different, for each job basically, there's always going to be different ways of how you must dress, how you must act, how you interact. And today was really different for me, a way I'd never really like engaged in before, because most of the time you think when you come to these things it's always about being professional, dressing smart and stuff like that, and it's just like I've just realized there's just so many different ways of actually looking at it, in the sense of I may come looking really professional, but actually here, when you're going to be like doing a lot of manual work and a lot of like moving around and stuff like that, that maybe the dress code that is naturally assumed to be required isn't. And I mean, that's something that it's taught me, that sometimes you should never really generalize with work, no matter what. You always try and, I don't know, take the time to try and go in more depth. Whatever the role is, like try and find out a bit more in depth, because you can't always think, well, as long as you come for a first time, this is what, as long as I do this, I come one time and just like this, that's fine, because you will come unprepared, as you could have seen, gone on run in jeans and I don't know, like trousers, which is just not convenient. So it's definitely been a different aspect, which fortunately I was prepared, but that was different. On the other side of it, I mean, it's definitely been the most strenuous of my interviews. The workout was great, but fortunately I live quite a healthy lifestyle, if I'm being honest. I play a lot of sport. I do some football and table tennis, and I mean that helped a lot in terms of going on a run and like the most of the gym work and like doing sit-ups and stuff like that. So it's stuff that I do when I maybe why, so I can take the feedback on, and it's something that, like I said, this is a position I'll definitely see myself going for again if it doesn't work out, so I can try and take the feedback, and I think in the future if I go for that position where it's something that I know I won't make the same mistake again. But I know I've literally given it my all, and I'll just wait patiently and quietly confident.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Well, good luck.